Hey guys, this is just a video on least common denominators, how to get rid of a fraction in a quadratic equation. Okay, so let's start out with the cancellation property. The cancellation property that is important for us today for the fractions is that if there is a number being multiplied on the top of a fraction and on the bottom of a fraction, in this case it would be c, c cancels itself out because it is the same in the top and the bottom. So AC divided by BC is the same as AB. It's called the cancellation property because we canceled out C, okay? So an example of this would be just any sort of reducing a fraction. 18 over 12, you can reduce it or you can simplify it, right? So here's just like every step of simplifying it. 18 is 6 times 3. 12 is 6 times 2, right? So I can cancel out those 6's, and 18 over 12 is the same fraction as 3 over 2, okay? So that's just reducing a fraction. 18 over 12, 1.5. 3 over 2, also 1.5, okay? Now, arithmetic of quotients, so adding fractions, okay? This is called the arithmetic of quotients. It says, well, let's write it down. Arithmetic of quotients. Says that A over B plus C over D can be combined. So the way that you would add these is to multiply all of this by this denominator. The bottom of the fraction is the denominator. Multiply all of this by this denominator, okay? So AB plus A over B plus C over D becomes AD over BD plus BC over BD. Okay, now the denominator is common. It's no longer this number plus a different number. We multiplied them together so they have the same denominator. So now I can say AD plus BC. I can add them because now they have the same common denominator. Okay, we call this a common denominator. This would be an example of this. 2 over 3 plus 5 over 2, right? Those are not common. We need to make them common by multiplying all of this side by this denominator, multiplying all of this side by this denominator. So this denominator is 3. So I'm going to say 5 times 3, 2 times 3, because anything I do to the bottom of the denominator, I need to do the same to the top. And then over here, it's 2, right? So I'm going to say 2 times 2, 3 times 2. Okay, so that becomes 2 times 2 over 3 times 2 plus 3 times 5 over 3 times 2. I'm just leaving them the same so that you can see that they are the same denominator. So that becomes 2 times 2 plus 3 times 5 over a common denominator of 3 times 2. Now we can just simplify. So that would be 4 plus 15 over 6, right? And that becomes 19 over 6. Again, we were just finding a common denominator between 2/3 and 5/2. So that's how to add fractions. Now let's multiply fractions, okay? This rule is A over B times C over D will give us AC over BD, right? You just multiply straight across when you're multiplying fractions. So a quick example would be 8 over 3 times 15 over 4, yeah, becomes 8 times 15 over 3 times 4. Okay, you can do this 2 ways now. 8 times 15 is 120. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, or you could say 15 is, sorry, 8, let's start with 8 because it's first. 8 is 4 times 2. 15 is 3 times 5. 3 times 4 remains 3 times 4. And now I cancel. 4 cancels 4. 3 cancels 3. I have 10 over 1, or 10, right? But I see 120 divided by 12. That's also 10. Okay. Now, let's talk about keeping fractions in lowest terms. So that is a correct answer, but it's not the best answer. The best answer is to put it into lowest terms. Lowest terms is just getting rid of anything you can divide, right? So if I have 90 over 24, both of those are actually divisible by 6. It's actually 6 times 15 over 6 times 4. So the same thing we did up there, eliminate the 6, and it's 15 over 4. Okay, so you always want your fraction in the lowest terms. One more example. 24x squared over 18x equals, right? What's 24? 4 times 6? What's 18? 3 times 6, yay! X squared is x times x. This is just 1x, right? The 6's cancel and one of the x's cancel. Now I have 4x over 3. Just keeping it in the lowest terms, okay? Now, finding the least common multiple. Okay, let's do the least common multiple of 6 and 4, okay? 4, and you just start the multiples of 4. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, right? Now 6, 6, 12, 18, oh, we found one. This is a common multiple, right? And if we keep going, we'll get to 24, right? That's another common multiple. But it's not the least. So you want the smallest common multiple between the numbers of 4 and 6. So the LCM of 4 and 6 is 12. Let's do another one. Let's do, sorry, I made that example up and then my other example also had 12. My other example is 12 and 15, okay? So we have 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, oh no, 15, 30, 45, 60. My common multiple, my first common multiple is 60. So the LCM of 12 and 15 is 60. We are going to use the LCM to add fractions, okay? Make sure it's focused. Okay, so here we were using, we said the LCM of 12 and 15 is 60. So I'm going to give you two fractions. One has a denominator of 15. The other has a denominator of 12. And they want you to add them together, okay? This one can be an 8, this one can be a 5. All right, we know the LCM of 15 and 12 is 60. That also means it's the least common denominator because 15 and 12 are the denominators and we want a denominator that is common to 15 and 12. So the LCD of these two fractions, or of this, you could say of this expression, is also 60. Okay, so I want 15 to equal 60 and I want 12 to equal 60. So I'm not going to multiply it by 60 actually. I'm going to multiply here. I think I need to multiply by 4. Anything I do to the bottom, I have to do the same thing to the top. Here I multiply by 5 to get 60. Okay, so now I have 8 times 4 over 4 times 15. That becomes 8 times 4 is 32. 4 times 15 is 60. Almost wrote 16, right? And 5 times 5 is 25. 12 times 5 is 60. 32 plus 25 over 60. Because now they have a common denominator, they have the same denominator, I can put them over 160, right? Just one number 60, one fraction. 32 plus 25. 32 plus 25 is 57 over 60, okay? Which actually, you can divide those both by 3. 57 divided by 3 is 19. 60 divided by 3 is 20. Okay. You can also, if you want to find the simplest form of a fraction, you put it in your graphing calculator, hit math fraction, and it will give you the lowest terms. So 57 over 60 is also 19 over 20, if you want to do it the fast way. Okay, so that is how we make, that's how we combine fractions. So we should make a note. This is combining fractions, right? So we end up with a fraction. But we also need to know how to clear fractions, okay? So another skill that has to do with multiplying denominators is clearing fractions, okay? So, for example, 1/2 times x plus 5 minus 4 equals 1/3 times 2x minus 1. Okay? Our two fractions are 2 and 3. So I could put them through the parentheses, but then I would just have more fractions. I don't want more fractions. I want to clear the fractions. I want to get rid of them. So before I even do the parentheses, I'm going to find the LCM. The LCD, sorry, or the LCM of 2 and 3. I like that better. LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. Why do I know that? Because 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 6. Right? The least common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6. So if I multiply everything here by 6, the fractions will totally go away. Here, they combined to one fraction. We want them to go away. Right? Why not? Ugh. So multiply everything by the LCM. Six times 1/2 times x plus 5. Okay? Plus 6 times -4. So basically I have to write 6 again anytime I see a sign, okay? Not here because we're going to get rid of this and then we will distribute through. But anytime I see a sign, I need to multiply again by 6, right? Equals 6 times 1/3 times 2x minus 1. All right? So 6 divided by 2 becomes 3. Okay? 6 divided by 3 becomes 2. I got rid of our fractions. So now I have 2 times x plus 5 instead of 1/2 times x plus 5 plus 6 times -4, -24. I wish I hadn't put that there. Equals 2 times 2x minus 1. Six times 1/2 or 6 divided by 2. Okay, that's how I got that number. 6 times 1/3 or 6 divided by 3. That's how I got that number. Here there was no fraction, so we had to multiply everything by 6. So that becomes 2x plus 10 minus 24 equals 4x minus 2. Yeah, now we just combine like terms. 10 minus 24. 2x minus 14 equals 4x minus 2. All right. Add 14. Add 14. 2x equals 4x plus 12. Subtract 4x. Subtract 4x. Negative 2x equals 12. Divide by -2, divide by -2, x is -6. Oops. Sorry about that. Add 14, you get 2x equals 4x plus 12. Subtract 4x from both sides, you get negative 2x equals 12. Divide by the negative 2, get x is. Okay, so this was finding a least common multiple of the denominators, right? Using it to clear it until we had no fractions and we found what x is equal to. So now we're going to do that same thing, but instead of with numbers, we're going to clear fractions with factors, okay? So we're still clearing fractions. I want to solve the problem by getting rid of the fractions, okay? So here's a problem. 3 over x minus 2 equals 1 over x minus 1 plus 7 over x minus 1, x minus 2. All the denominator for 7. Okay? So over here, the least common multiple was found by making a list for 2 and a list for 3, or we could have just multiplied 2 times 3 is 6, right? So when you have variables, you just need to multiply, right? What would be the least common denominator of x minus 2 and x minus 1? It's just going to be those two things multiplied together. X minus 2, x minus 1 is the least common denominator of this equation. Just like 6 is the LCM here. By multiplying 2 times 3, these two multiplied together is the LCD or the LCM of this equation. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply everything by the least common denominator. So that means I had x minus 2, x minus 1 times 3 over x minus 2. Okay, equals, same thing, x minus 2, x minus 1 times 1 over x minus 1 plus x minus 2, x minus 1 times, I fit all of this, 7 over x minus 1, x minus 2. Okay, so this is the same as what we did here, multiplying everything by 6. 6, 6, 6. X minus 2, x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 1, because there were 3 parts of the equation. Okay, now we cancel. Let's cancel some things. X minus 2 cancels with this x minus 2. X minus 1 cancels with this x minus 1. Ooh, this x minus 2 cancels with this. This x minus 1 cancels with this. Yay! So now I have 3 times x minus 1 is 1 times x minus 2 plus 7. There's nothing on the bottom. Those are all canceled. We didn't combine them, we canceled them, okay? 3x minus 3 equals x minus 2 plus 7. 3x minus 3 equals x plus 5. Add 3, add 3. 3x equals x plus 8. Subtract x, subtract x. 2x equals 8. Divide by 2. X is 4. All right, you want to see another one? Let's do 3x over x minus 1 plus 2 equals 3 over x minus 1. Okay, what is the least common denominator? X minus 1, x minus 1. Least common denominator is x minus 1. So multiply everything by x minus 1. X minus 1 times 3x over x minus 1 plus x minus 1 times 2 equals x minus 1 times 3 over x minus 1, right? So now those cancel, those cancel. So I have this 3x plus 2 times x is 2x, 2 times negative 1 is minus 2 equals 3. 3 plus 2x is 5x minus 2 equals 3. Now I'm just going to simplify. Add 2, add 2. 5x equals 5. Divide by 5, divide by 5. X is 1. So I got rid of I eliminated the fraction by finding the least common denominator. Okay? One more. Let me see.